Kindness, throughout human history, has always been praised as a noble quality. We are taught from a young age, be kind, help others, do good. But is there a time when kindness becomes a trap that hurts us? Is there a time when kindness, if not properly placed, is the thing that makes us lose ourselves? The answer is yes, and it happens more than you think. This video is not meant to make you cold or insensitive. The goal here is to awaken, to make you look back at your kindness through the eyes of reason, of inner freedom, not through fear of being hated or misplaced pity. Through the light of Stoic philosophy, we will explore together 4 ways kindness, if lacking wisdom, can ruin your life. We still think, if we treat others kindly, they will be kind in return. But that is not a law of the universe. It is an illusion. The reality is, some people do not want kindness. They want benefits. And if you are always accommodating, always giving in, always pleasing, you do not become noble in their eyes. You become the easiest person to control. They will ask you for help, and then ask again. They will push your boundaries, a little at a time, until you are left with nothing but a feeling of being used and empty. You are angry, but do not know who to blame, because you volunteered. But the truth is, you are kind because you dare not do otherwise. Epictetus emphasized, don't just talk about your philosophy of life, live it. In Stoicism, kindness is not resignation. It is a selective action, one that comes from reason and virtue, not weakness. Stoics are willing to help, but they do not help regardless of the consequences, and they do not allow others to violate their personal boundaries. True kindness is, I help because I feel it is right, not because I am afraid of being disliked or rejected. Do you ever feel like you have to be nice, even when you're exhausted? You say yes when you want to say no. You sit through meaningless conversations just to be polite. You take on extra work because you're afraid to say no. And then you go home, empty, tired, and sometimes bitter. That's when kindness crosses the line and starts eating away at you. We're not taught to set boundaries. We're taught that kindness is good, understanding is good, patience is good. But no one ever tells us that every good thing needs a framework. Without boundaries, you're not living your life. You're living in someone else's expectations. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if it's not true, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. Kindness, if not based on honesty with oneself, becomes a mask, covering up dissatisfaction and self-betrayal. A people pleaser is a person who is never authentic. And the scary thing is, the more you are kind, the more you are praised. But it is a compliment to a false version of yourself. Stoics are not kind because they are afraid of being disliked. They are kind because it is right, and they know that. Rightness is never in conflict with personal honesty. There is a kind of kindness that we often mistake, holding back to get things done. But often, holding back does not do better. It only allows the wrong to continue and the right to become weaker. You have been offended, but you smile because you don't want to make a big deal out of it. You have witnessed injustice, but you keep quiet because you don't want to get involved. So you are called nice, gentle, no drama. But sometimes silence is complicity, and kindness becomes a cover for a lack of courage. Seneca once warned, he who forgives evil is hurting the good. Kindness does not mean weakness. Kindness does not mean giving up justice. The Stoics understood, when necessary, stand up, say what is wrong, stand up for principles, even if it makes you hated. You don't have to shout, attack, or retaliate, but you do need to be firm and clear, because the truth, as Marcus Aurelius wrote, doesn't need to be shouted, it just needs to be expressed. Kindness should not be an avoidance of conflict. It should be a steady moral presence. We live in a world that rewards kindness, but also elevates being liked as an achievement. You share because you want to be liked. You stay silent because you're afraid of being criticized. You laugh because you're afraid of being called nasty. You give because you're afraid of losing your nice guy image. Every action, every gesture, not from inner freedom, comes from the fear of being rejected. And then you lose yourself in a spiral. I have to be this way to be liked. But you know what? Epictetus said it best. If you want to grow, accept being considered stupid. Why? Because maturity always comes with rejecting the crowd. Personal freedom is not about being praised. It's about not needing praise to be yourself. The Stoics understood being liked is good, but not necessary. What is necessary is to live according to virtue and conscience. You do not need to be loved by everyone. You only need to be respected by yourself. That is the deepest and most lasting kind of success. The Stoics were never against kindness. On the contrary, it was the foundation of their ethics. But they taught, we cannot control the world, but we can always control how we respond to it. So be kind, but be clear. Help others, but keep your limits. And above all, be kind because you are yourself, not because you are afraid. When kindness is well placed, it not only saves others, but also saves you from hypocrisy, burnout, and unnecessary hurt.